I swear YouTube needs to get their act together. I don't know what the heck's wrong. It won't work with my software now. So, here we are. I'm on one camera again. So, let's see if we can do something. What the heck happened to that? There it is. All right. First thing I got to do. You have to bear with me because I got one camera. I don't have the two cameras, so we'll try to set it back a little bit. I've cleaned up a little bit, as you've seen. So the first thing I need to do is set this horn in here. I'm not gluing this in permanent. I'm just setting it in. Aggravating. So those 3/8 hinges go all the way up against the trailing edge. Good evening, Michael. Now I've already marked where the hinges are supposed to go. So we'll see how close we come out here. I can't have that, so I've got to knock that flat. Can't believe I never can find the square when I need it. I hate this place. You can't build shit here like this. So we'll use the aluminum one, for it wears it out too bad. If you want to make this edge a square, make sure it's square. Because those are square, we hope. Let's check them. Close enough. Hello, Craig. So that's correct. And that'll be correct. And now, because this is outboard, I'm going to have to leave it big. But it has to flow. Or should I cut it off, I think? Maybe I'll cut it off. No, I can't. Got to be there. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to get the overall look of what I'm looking for. Hey, Montana. Good evening, everybody. So I don't have to say to everybody, good evening, everybody. Okay, let me move this here. No wonder why they sell printers so damn cheap. The ink is $77. If I have to do it again, I'll buy another printer. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off right there. The problem is that I'm going to be cutting through a carbon fiber rod. But we'll make some clips tonight if I can find some basswood or whatever. I might have to get out my table saw to cut through this. There's a carbon rod that's embedded in there. I just don't know if this little saw is going to make it. Yeah, it did. All right. So we got to still cut that back some more. I'm sorry. I mean, with one camera here, especially the one that's on top of me, I just can't really film. I'm gonna have to look into that and see what's up with YouTube. What they keep monkeying around. That's why sometimes I can't get on, and I have to do it 2 or 3 times because them guys are jerking around with stuff. That stuff is head on everything. I don't know what you mean. Okay, whatever. Okay, now I want to. Hopefully, this will work. It's close. It's close. So we got to knock this off. Hey, David. Hello, everybody. I got. Okay, I got that squared up. And it'll be close. So now, I want to make them look the same, but I want this one smaller. So let's see if that works. So the inboard flap is we might have to take some more off of that too. Hey, Jim. I'm designing on the fly on the flaps. Now, there is a formula, I'm sure, but I'm also sure that I don't know it, of how much bigger the outboard flap should be than the inboard. I just go, that looks about right. So I'll get this cut here, and then I'll take off another 1/8 inch off of this curve. So we'll cut it back another 1/8 of an inch. So I've got the lowered lead out block in there, which was a trick to do. And we're going to be working the flaps, so I use less wingtip weight. Wider flap on the outside means less wingtip weight, theoretically. You got more area on the inboard side, so when you give it control in a hard maneuver, it makes the wing go wonky. Better save this piece of wood. This was a 4-pound piece of wood. Even with that carbon spar in there, after it's sanded, it'll probably be a 1/2 ounce, and that's real good for a flap. We're just whittling away the wood. I'll have a can over here. Got a bump there. I'm going to get that out of that because that will affect how it looks when I trim it 1/8 of an inch. I think Bob Palmer, the Thunderbird, had a 1/4 inch bigger outboard flap, but I don't want to do that. We're only going to change it just slightly, and you don't want to change it here at the center of the fuselage either, because then it'll look goofy. Here we are. This is that looks about right. We'll see what happens. The nice thing about these, if I make a mistake, the way these are made, I can just take them off and put a new set on, bigger or smaller or whatever. There we go. Yep, I have no room. We can't move, not one iota. And I just cleaned up all the sawdust and all the chips and stuff, and now I'm putting it back on the floor. I'll get the can over here and when I get ready to sand these. Now, I've never sanded these or never weighed these with a carbon rod in them. It should be around a half an ounce when they're done. This is trial and error. This wing is a trial and error. I mean, this is not Billy's Thunderbolt anymore. It'll look like it, but it's not. My guesswork. What I think will work. That's what makes this hobby fun, is can you make it work better or whatever? At least in my mind. So now I look at this. Stand back and look. Does that look about right? Remember, if you have any experience at all, if it looks right, it'll probably be pretty close. If it looks wrong, it won't work. Well, it all works. A toilet seat will fly if you put enough power to it. Trust me, I know this for a fact. Well, in 18 minutes, I got the flap shaped anyway, or cut out the size. Let's get a weight on those and see what they weigh. See how much I'm going to take off in shaping. Come on, please be about a half ounce. Nope, 0.8, 0.9. So they're almost an ounce. So that carbon tube does add quite a bit. But we'll take 40% off, so it should be a half ounce sanded. And I got a slight little twist in this one, so I'm going to have to wet it and weight it after it's shaped. Now, some guys do the rod method. I don't like that myself. They don't have shape to them. They just flat boards. I airfoil mine. Let's see what this side weighs. That was 0.9. 0.95. So if you got two pieces of wood that you're going to use for flaps, make sure that you use the heavier one, no matter how wet it is, if it's a gram or two on the outboard side. And what that does for you is you use less concentrated weight for wingtip weight. In my opinion, and I'm sure Brett Buck would argue with me, concentrated weight is bad. Yeah. Let me get the trash can so don't make too big a mess. I still got some dust over there to clean up. We'll get another bag in this thing. You believe that? God, they can't even make a trash can that holds together. It's only like 3 years old. It's already split. Unreal. Okay. Nothing in there. Take it out in the morning. Put this in. Cheap Chinese trash can. The handle's split already. 2 years, and it hadn't been in the sun or anything. Just been sitting over there in the corner. Unreal. Yeah, stupid thing won't. Yeah, won't do it fast enough. There we go. Okay. Now, some have seen me do this, but I don't think Jim has seen me do this. So I'm going to show you how I shape flaps, because it takes like 2 minutes. So we'll get it down about an inch back from the edge. I'm sanding a bevel on it to get it to about where I want it. Then I'm going to cross hatch it. We'll do both sides first. And it sands a perfect airfoil. And it takes no time. And I'm sure some people, you can't do that. Well, you're watching me do it. And there's a few on here who have seen my airplanes in person and know that it doesn't look like it took 2 minutes, but that's all it takes. You do it right. Okay, we've sanded about that much in it. Now it's time to cross hatch it to get an airfoil on it. And doing the flaps like this keeps them from warping. If you do it with the rod method, first off, it looks cheap. Looks like just a slab, you know. And second off, they have a tendency to warp. Okay, so now take the smaller block and we're going to cross hatch it. So we're knocking that high spot that I put in it out, blending it in. So go that way and back this way. Well, I've shown you how to sand this again. I've shown it several times on video. But you know, teaching is reminding, learning is remembering. So we got one side roughed in. And I do mean pretty damn close. Now I'll go to the next side. So one direction. The only difference between this and honing a cylinder is we're not trying to hold oil. We're just trying to make it uniform. So you gotta go this way. Okay, I was going this way. I need to go this way. Going this way. No, we go this way. Okay. So now we'll bring it down about a 1/16 away from the line with the 180 paper. That was with 80 or the 150 or whatever the heck this red stuff is. Get out the scratches. Yeah. You notice I never sanded with the grain. I sanded at a 45 to the grain. If you sand with the grain, it'll get flats in it, and it'll look like crap. See, it's in an airfoil. Well, it's not finished, but pretty close. Doesn't take long. Take you more than 10 minutes to sand a flap, you're doing something wrong. Of course, we'll come back with 320. Get the rest of the scratches out of it. But now I want to round this off. So I gotta see if I can find my tool. John maybe. But we'll knock the corners off first so that tool will fit. Okay, you don't want to go too far or else it'll look goofy. So I got to get that tool out of the box. Give me a second, see if I can find it. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Come on. That tool, I didn't get. I have a rubber one. Ah, there it is. Okay, John's made me a tool like this. It's just a piece of copper tubing or brass tubing cut lengthways so I can make it makes a nice radius. I used to do this by hand, but we got tools. Might as well use tools. That ain't no good there. Shoot. There we go. So 35 minutes, got one flap made. digging in there. Sandpaper. I'm just taking the scratches from the 150 out of this now with the 320. The shaping is done. It's all finished work now. I can't tell how much we lost. Probably not a whole lot. 0.9 when I started, or 0.95 for the outboard, but we'll check it. Uh-oh, somebody did something. Yeah, RC for life. Been sanding a plane all day. It's nice change of pace to watch someone else sand. Yeah, oh yeah. I sand all day, every day. If you're an RC guy and you've been sanding, you're one of the few. Because everybody's a buy and fly barfer now. Foamy character. You're going to build model airplanes, you're going to sand. You're going to build good ones anyway. You can't see it here, but in the cat you can see where I cross-hatched it with the 80, then came back with the 150. You can see scratches in that. Well, you want to be able to get them scratches out. So the reason for different grits of sandpaper is to move material. So when I'm at home in St. Louis and I'm moving massive amounts of material with 36 grit sandpaper, so 36, well, yeah, I got to take a half an inch off. Why would I sand it with 600? You know, I'd be sanding forever. So you take 36 off, you get it down, you go to 80, 120, 220, 320, you know, so on and so forth, down to 5,000. So you end up with 5,000 grit sandpaper, which is actually a sanding pad. But okay. Let's see what it weighed, what it came down to. This is pretty much done, roughed in. Well, there's a couple scratches there. We'll get them out. Couple there. This ain't the. We ain't done sanding by a long ways. It'll be sanded and resanded, but it's straightened right out. I relieved it in such a way that it straightened right out. Let's see what the weight came down to. Started at 0.95. It now weighs. Took 10 grams off. Let's see here. Mode 24. It's 24 grams now. Let's see what this one was. 26. So this will come down. Well, they're not as quite as light as I'd like them to be. That carbon rod adds quite a bit. Because normally I get them down to ½ ounce. So we sacrificed a little bit for the carbon rod. Okie dokie. We got 20 minutes to whip this into shape. So let's see how many grams this weighs. It weighs 24 grams. Let's see how much the sanding actually takes off. Get a drink of water. 24 grams. Everybody remember that. 24. Ah. Any questions on this goofy sanding system I use? That is a nice thing about video. I don't have to really explain myself because you watch me do it. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Another thing I'd like to mention here, this if it has a twist, if the wood has a twist in it, and this one does ever so slightly, first sand it, and then dope it, then cover it, then straighten it. Don't straighten it before you put the dope on it, because the minute you put the dope on it, it relieves the wood. It'll go right back, and it'll drive you nuts. You got a warp in the wing? Yeah, you can try to get it out, but it'll come back the minute you put the dope on it. So get it covered, get the dope on it, and then use superheated steam to straighten it. Takes 2 guys to do it. 1 holder, 1 twister. Have to run the vacuum again before I go to sleep. It's really crappy. See, before when I was on Stunt, I was doing this stuff, and I'd post pictures. And the guys would say, well, you didn't do it that way. Okay, well, whatever. Now you can see me do it. So this is even better. And I'm looking into a .tv web address as well. And because YouTube's given such a problem, there's a host for secure TV. So if it's not too much, I might do that. Yeah, it depends on the specs too. I I got an email into them for cost and size and stuff. We already moved one time. I'm not going to move again, but I'll open up another place to host video on so it doesn't eat up the bandwidth on Stunt Hanger. Depending on what it costs and what the masses want to do. Because you got to remember, this is not a business for me. I'm not selling anything. I'm just selling. I'm not even selling that. I'm just giving away what I know. Which according to some is not much, and according to others is a whole lot. So it depends on what you get out of it, I guess. If anybody wants my job, I'll be more than happy to give it to them. I'm going to end 14 minutes, and I'm going to eat me a bowl of ice cream and go to bed. Been working on this thing all day long. I will show the end results because Jim is on here. I will show the end results of the lead out tip, the inboard tip. Turned out pretty good. It still needs some final sanding. I mean, sanding is the key. If you're going to be a successful model airplane builder, you better like to sand, buddy. Sanding sucks, but I've been doing it over 50 years. And, you know, would I say I'm a professional sander? Let's put it this way. I would say that I'm more professional than about 90% of the body men. You're the informative entertainer, I guess. Now if I could just make money at it, that'd be great. If you're looking to make money at this, you're starved. You will starve. Okay, we got that. It was started out at 24 grams. I got that roughed in. Let's cut the edge here. I don't know if you guys know Bill Wilson, but he's an auto body man. And from what I remember, his airplanes, they were sanded very well. He's out of Texas. So he was kind of like Walt Prey, only I don't think he paints signs or nothing. The thing about cars and motorcycles is you don't care what it weighs. You can just lay the paint on and it don't make a darn. With airplane, you got 1 quart. Let's see what you can do with 1 quart. Or you could be like Kenny Stevens and put 1 gallon on. After 1 gallon of clear. Holy shit. When I heard that. When you find out anything, let me know. I'll see what I can do to help. I've been watching you since just after I lost my dad in 2015. Well, I'll let everybody know. I've been doing this all my life. All 14 years worth. She's still a 14-year-old kid. Okay, let's clean it up a little bit. I'd like to say that even when I get them done here, they won't be done. This thing's catching. I better put a new piece of paper on this. I don't want to put any nicks in it that I can't get out. Let's use that other paper. This stuff right here. We'll leave it long, centered up. Try this, see if it helps. Probably not, but you never know. I might have to make my own block or something. See how this edges come up? No good. Let's see what happens. It started out 24. Let's see what we get it down to. I'm not going to get them hinged up tonight. I'll do that tomorrow night after work. We'll just get them shaped. So this looks like this is a 3-hour project to get these flaps on. But what else would you be doing? Sure like to know if John Martin or Rob Gower flying airplanes. Those were, I keep asking, nobody knows who they are. So I guess I'm the only one left out of the whole crew that flew when I was a kid. Bill Noyes, if you're watching, hello. If you're still with us. I know he used to watch the forum from time to time. Another guy I flew with a million years ago. I know Tom is dead. Bob Wiley's dead. Anybody seen Norm Whittle? Is he still going? Is he flying RC again, or is he going to do control line? Yeah, I'm bringing up names that you guys probably don't even know. Okay, Michael, good night. Well, let's see what it weighs. Started out 24. Well, I took a gram off of it, so you didn't lose much. I'm going to have to thin that out a little more. That doesn't look really good, but we'll do that on the second sanding. Let's see what all this rigmarole is going to weigh. We shall see what it's going to weigh. So that is this one. And this is that one. $70 ounces. So we got to zero that scale. It's 11 ounces. So it's a 12-ounce wing. And get the lead outs and the bell crank in it. Not the best, but not the worst. Don't have the wood anymore. 11.8. So yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Yep, 12 ounces because I got 6 hinges to go on it yet. Okay, before I go, I wanted to show Jim the lead out block. Get this crap out of the way. Yeah, you already saw the outboard tip. This is what I come up with for the inboard tip. It needs a little more sanding yet, but it's pretty close. Lead outs are underneath the center line. Right through here. So that should be okay. Should be good. This is a big wing. I think we're at 60 inches. Let me measure this thing. Where's my dressmaker's tape? There it is. Now, without going through a big rigmarole, the easiest way to get square inches is to quarter cord it, leading edge to trailing edge of the flaps, 13 5/8, which is 13 and a half. It's not super accurate, but it'll give you a guess what we got here. 13 and a half by 60. So yeah, come on, want the calculator. Clear. 13.5 times 60. Can't be 810 inches. It's probably about 740. $810. Man, that is a huge wing. If I keep it under 60 ounces, it'll be like a 40 size airplane. Really gonna have to pull some rabbits to get it under 60. There's just so much of it here. Let's figure it the right way, because I'm kind of interested in what it is. So it's 11 and a half root. Might be 11 3/4 root. Because I add a little bit for the yeah, it's 11 3/4. Because I added some for the overhang. So 11 3/4 by 30. $29 and a half. We're going to figure this up. Come on. Clear. 11.75 times 29.5 equals 346. 25. That ain't right either. We're going to do it this way. Nine and a half by 50. Nine and a half times 57. There we go. Clear. 9.5 times 57 equals 541. 541. $541, and then we take 9 and a half from 1175. 11.75 minus 9.5 equals 225 times 60. 225 times 60. That's 135 inches. 35. I'm going to lose a little bit on the tips. Those are 3 inches, so we'll go 3 by 9.5. We'll say 3.5 by 9.5. Yeah, 3.5 by 9.5. Clear. 3.5 times 9.5 equals 33.25. 25. And on the flaps, we got the 3 on one end and 2 on the other. We'll give or take 3 by 2 is 3 by 2 by 22. Clear. Come on. Come on. 3 times 2 times 22. That ain't right. 3, that's 2. Let's go 2 all the way across by 60. 2, it's 60 inches. 120. 120. 120. And then 50%. 1 times, that's 30 inches. So 25, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's big. It's a big wing. It's close to 800 cubic or 800 square inches. It's a mama. I think we might have to cut back on the flaps a little bit. That's just too much wing. Billy's original Thunderbolt was around 700 squares, and it only had a 10 and a or 9 3/4 or 10-inch root cord, but it had a 62-inch wingspan. So this is a 60-inch wingspan with 11 3/4 cord. Plus, well, he had big flaps on that thing too. I don't know. We should have more effective wing loading and less buffeting in the wind because it's not as high aspect ratio. Yeah. So that's what we got. We got something done tonight. Not a whole lot, but something. Appreciate you guys watching. If you're not a paid subscriber, please consider hitting the join button down there. Help keep the channel alive. Helps the metrics. Gives me a little incentive to do these things. Because it takes a lot out of me to do this stuff every night. So I will see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.